Hello and welcome to Working with Miniatures. I'm Jim and today we're going to be doing simple green grass bases for 4 miniatures. Let's get started. With Superglue, I attach the miniatures to the bases, ensuring to center them as best as I can with no overhang. If you have too much of the miniature protruding past the edges of the base, it can make storing the miniatures troublesome. For larger miniatures, such as the oxen, I also apply a thin layer of superglue around the entirety of the casted base to ensure adhesion. With a cheap brush, I apply AK Interactive's dry ground to the bases of the children. This step is optional. You can use PVA glue and sand, or you can even use small amounts of spackling or drywall compound. If you use any type of paste, be sure that you wipe away any that may have inadvertently got on the miniature, as well as the edges of the base. Also note that when applying the dry ground to the boy's base, I placed a little between his feet, something that was not necessary with the girl due to her dress. I repeat these same steps for the oxen, only for them I used AK Interactive's muddy ground instead. There's no difference between them really, and due to painting and flocking over the paste, you can't really even tell that I used a different type. I only used both to keep their usages about even. After the terrain paste has dried, I apply a coat of Army Painter Oak Brown thinned with a healthy dose of water, though not so much as to make it a glaze. I ensure all of the casted base and the blank base is covered. With the oak brown dried, I cover the oak brown with a good dose of Army Painter's dark tone wash, again ensuring that I cover it entirely. Once the wash is dried, I dry brush Army Painter's Desert Yellow. This is where having textured paste or sand will make a difference. If you don't use textured paint or sand, you can skip this step. Or if you did use textured paste or sand and want to avoid flocking, you can dry brush orange, yellow, and various greens to make it look more earthy and natural. After dry brushing, I go back with Army Painter Matte Black to define the rim of the bases. This step is optional, but I feel like it gives a cleaner, more finished appearance. For flocking, I use a mix of green and brown with yellow and red flecks. The majority is green flocking, but the bits of brown and yellow will give the appearance of dead grass mixed in. I am only flocking 4 miniatures, so I only mixed a small amount. When I'm finished, I will pour this into a small container to save for later. To prepare the base for flocking, you only need to dab a little PVA glue and spread it lightly with a cheap brush. You do not need to cover the entire base with glue or flocking. You can allow the paint work to show below as if the grass is receding. Be sure to drop some flock between the miniature's feet as well before tapping off the excess and wiping the edges clean. The following step is optional, but especially for larger miniatures, I like to apply small tufts around the base. Here I'm using assorted Army Painter tufts. To apply them, drop superglue on the bottom of the tuft and press it down firmly with tweezers or the back of an X-Acto knife blade. Previously, I forgot to paint the rim of the bases of the oxen, but despite having already applied flocking, I can go back and finish the step without any problems. That's going to be it for today. I hope you were inspired to start or expand your own collection, or maybe you just learned something. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and if you like the content in this video and would like to see more, please like, share, and subscribe. This is Jim with Working with Miniatures. I am truly grateful for your time, and I bid you a fond farewell. Till the next video.